When we consider a critical thinking workshop, what are we trying to really achieve? We are trying to achieve a dynamism in each and every single participant in the workshop to fire their neurons in a different way, in a way that they are not used to, in a way that is out of the box of their personality, out of their mindset of fixed patterns of thinking. Yes? In this one, let's evaluate one particular function that is required in a workshop dynamic, and how this critical thinking workshop model of mine fulfills that dynamic. You need to understand the dynamic in order to be able to be appreciating what are we trying to do here. All these people sitting in a workshop together, what's the end result? What's the end goal? Okay, let's get right into it. Good morning, wonderful people. Welcome to the Insights channel, where I explore all kinds of leadership management topics, self-help, self-development. I got personality Excel worksheets. If you want to go to the playlist, check out, download, feel free to use, distribute as you want. But my main central theme here is about management and leadership. Leadership as in leadership with collaboration, because we have approached a time now, 2023 and onwards, where collaboration is going to be more of a key driver in your success as a company, as an institution, more than a single person, a single leader. There is no single leadership. We are finished with that paradigm. Okay, this is about collaborative leadership, and that's where my passion of critical thinking comes into play. This channel is most about critical thinking on all aspects: current events, current trends, news, critical thinking workshop, which I can do. You can get in touch in the description box in my email or through my LinkedIn profile. So feel free to explore this channel. Thank you for visiting. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get started. In this one, we are trying to examine the function part of it. Remember this one which we spoke of in the first one? There are 4 elements to a critical thinking workshop which define the core of the critical thinking process itself. Abstract, what are we trying to aim for here? Foundation, is this building a new foundation? You can't have the same thing over and over again in a different form. We are trying to change the form itself, how to reshape this into another form, which we'll deal with later on. Right now, we'll just discuss the function. Is this function holistic? In this context of critical thinking, what does the term holistic mean? Holistic here simply means if you are trying to consider all points of view possible from all people sitting in the workshop. Is this fulfilling the needs of each and every personality sitting in the workshop? If you do not fulfill the needs of each and every personality, any outcome is going to be subject to a lot of strife, a lot of argument, a lot of debate. Critical thinking workshop is a very silent workshop. It is not debating. This is not the Indian Parliament. We are not trying to debate endlessly about stuff. We are trying to make the human brain of each and every personality sitting think in a different direction than they are normally their brains are used to. So you are trying to fire up new set of neurons and go past the neuroplasticity that is inherent in a human brain. Modern psychology knows all about this. You can Google neuroplasticity and find out all about it. But for now, let's get into a workshop dynamic. Let me show you the workshop itself and how it works. So here is a circular table, a typical workshop setting, and there are 16 different types of Myers-Briggs personality types, right? Personality indicators. Each one I have put in there. It's like a chair. Each one of these square boxes is a personality sitting at the table. Okay, this is the workshop setting. And we shall continue this workshop setting and analyze and dissect this more so we get an understanding of what value it will provide. First thing is we need to know what the value it will provide to a company, to an institution, right? Obviously. So in the center of the table is a problem statement. What do I mean by problem statement? Let's say your company is not doing proper sales, or let's say your profits have died down, or let's say you don't have enough funds to run the company, or let's say you need to change the type of thinking of the top leadership of your institution, be it government, be it educational, anything. It's applicable across the board. So the problem statement is defined by the company or the institution itself. We can take a neutral one and solve a virtual problem statement, but why not take a real life statement, right? Let's say the company produces a problem statement for the workshop to analyze, a critical thinking workshop to analyze and come up with suggestions, new school of thought. And we are using the existing bunch of people. Each one of these 16 types is one type of person selected from the company. The idea being, if you're having different personalities of each type, ENTP, ISFJ, ISTJ, ENFP, all 16 types at least, you can have more, but they'll get too complex, in my opinion. But let's just start with 16 people in a round table discussing the problem statement presented by the company or the institution. Saying, look, Mr. Critical Thinking Workshop, lock yourself in a door. Here's the problem. I want you to come up with different statement, different possibilities, different suggestions. I can't think for myself. I'm limited by my own personality. You think, come across suggestions with me. That's the engine of ideas generating machine, so to speak. So we have the problem statement at the center of the table. Everything we humans are used to doing is analyzing with respect to a problem statement. That becomes the core of this. Why? Even in our daily lives, even as individuals, we are used to solving something, or our brains kind of kick in when there is an issue or a problem at hand. Right? Obviously. If there's no problem, we'll just sit, eat, drink, sleep and watch Netflix, right? Necessity is the mother of invention along those lines. So we kick into full gear. Any human being kicks into full gear if there's a problem presented. Oh, we have all these bulleted points, the problem statement, please solve it. Now the brain kicks in. So the essential component of a critical thinking workshop is to have a problem statement at the center which all 16 participants will participate in. 16 different personalities, one problem to solve. That forms the basis, right? Okay. Now, among these 16 personalities, these are the green highlighted ones, circular ovals that you see around the table, who all have one thing in common. That is the E factor, that is the extroversion. These are all extroverts of a different type. There will be 8 different extroverts, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Totally 8 extroverts. And so will be the rest of them also. 8 of each type. Even though ENTP may not have much in common with ESFP, may not have much in common with ENTJ and ENFJ, ENFP and so on, ENTP has nothing in common with INFJ, ISFJ, ESFP has nothing in common with INTJ. See how different the personalities are. Myers-Briggs model, nothing else, which I have explained previously. Yet, they can solve one single problem at the same time because the E's have something in common. So the E's will approach the problem with an extraversion approach, which is what? They tend to be outgoing, talkative and enjoy social interaction. Just extroversion, folks. Nothing very complicated about this one. So extrovert people will approach this problem from an external perspective. How do I deal with this in the external world? What happens outside if I give this idea? That's the first one. Yeah. Then let's take the J part. Who all have the J's in common? The judging people. INFJ, ISFJ, INTJ, ENTJ, ENFJ, ISTJ and so on. So there are 8 of them again. Now they will approach the same problem statement from a judgment perspective, which means to say what? They have a preference for structure and organizations. They want structure and everything. Give me the policies, give me the procedure, what are the rules of this, what are the bulleted points for this. That kind of mindset, it's required. Everything is required. Nothing is a waste in this world, folks. They like to plan, make decisions quickly and strive for closure. Come on, move on. How do I get past this? Where is the policy or the procedure for this particular thing that you're proposing? Mr. ENTP, for example, right, who's sitting next to him, or Mr. ESTP on this side. So it goes on, this dynamic plays on for the judging part. So judging part with brains of these people, these 8 people will kick in to strive for a structure, to strive for an organized way of handling things. For the intuitive ones, the N is all intuitive, right? I is for introversion, so they take an N in Briggs model. Fine, no problem. So you see all the N's around the table addressing the same problem statement in an intuitive way. much ignored in this world. Typically, people don't use their intuition. Everybody has one. They don't use it that often. In this workshop, we are forcing the intuitives to bring out their intuitive. I feel this is not going to happen. I feel if we do this, something else might happen. Where is that X factor which we are looking for in a problem solving, right? This critical thinking workshop model brings that intuition out, because there are 8 people around the table among the 16 who think intuitively in different ways. Each one of them brings intuition itself in a different way. Think of that, right? An INFJ won't bring the same kind of intuition as an ENTP. INFJ, for example, is very introverted. ENTP is extroverted. Just a small example. You can go through the details in the previous one. What each one stands for. I have dissected the Myers-Briggs model in the centerpiece, and then we are taking the workshop dynamics now. So the intuition itself can assume a different dimension in each one of these 8 people, because they are bringing different elements to the table. Problem statement is one, 8 different aspects to that. Okay? Now for the perceiving people. Perceiving people are what? They are people who prefer more flexibility, more adaptability. They look for things which might be more flexible in nature. For example, if they say, if I put a train station over here and there are some number of passengers coming in and going, is it expandable? Is it scalable? These kind of words like expansion, scalability, rangeability, these kind of things are applicable for a flexible mind. They look for adaptability more, because their minds are thinking in terms of flexibility. We need to bring a problem solving skills, and these 8 people who are of a different shade of perception, okay, they enjoy being open-ended possibilities. They are comfortable with ambiguity. Fixed people are not comfortable with ambiguity, right? Obviously, the fixed mindset, I want this and I want this only and no other way. That's a fixed mindset, nothing else. But these 8 people bring that flexibility in solving that same problem statement. Look how dynamic this is getting. The sensing person, on the other hand, has a preference for being present and presenting concrete details. Give me the details here. Give me what I have to work with. Give me the resources. Give me the money. Give me the clearance for working this particular dam or a bridge. I want to build something, right? I want to build a building, architecture, or I want to feed an entire city, new city with some power lines. So what about this power? Where is it coming from? They are practical, observant, and prefer tangible information. These are like the engineers, the architects, the builders of this civilization. Now, 8 of them are sitting around the same table, writing the same problem, and they are thinking in terms of tangible resources. To put it simplistically, they are thinking in terms of what do we need to solve this. Mr. N, all the N's have suggested all the intuitive parts. The S guys, 8 S chaps who are sitting around the table, men and women, they are all thinking about, well, what do I need to make this work? I need more money, or I need to have a diversified source of funds. Whatever it is the problem statement is. This gives a hint right there. If the problem statement is well defined, with lots of elements as much as possible presented within the problem statement, the better it is for a critical thinking workshop, because then you are making each one of the 16 personalities bringing out the best within them. Now, for an introverted person, again of whom there are 8 of them around the table, they prefer to process everything in their internal world. They are introverts. They often prefer solitary activities and need alone time to process stuff. Introverts. We all know this kind of people. They are in our family, they are in our friends, they are in our co-workers, introverts, and we need the introvert's perspective also, much ignored in the world today. We are not taking the introvert's perspective because they realize something also, they bring something else also to the table, which the extroverts miss. Remember, extroverts and introverts are opposite. We need both perspectives to solve that problem in the center of the table right there. Okay? So introverts will bring 8 different shades of introversion. There is an 8 different shades there also, which the Myers-Briggs personality dictates. So we need these precious people, men and women, who are introverts, the silent ones, the quieter ones, who don't speak much, but we need them to solve the problem as well. So they bring that to the table. Then we have the feeling type, the 8 different kind of feeling people who are always feeling about stuff. Emotions. They are more focused on the emotional content. They focus on the value system. They focus on emotions. They prioritize empathy and harmony in their choices. That choice needs to come to the company policy. That choice needs to come to solving the problem at hand in governance, in institutions also. We are human beings first. All human beings are emotional beings. Where is that emotional content? These days you can't have a dry stuff. Okay? You need the emotional content. You need the human value system. You need empathy. This is how these 8 individuals who are feelers and who have again 8 different shades of feeling. It's not one kind of feeling. It's not a monopolized setting of a feeling. It's 8 different shades. Everything has 8 different shades in Myers-Briggs personality. All we are doing is we are bringing them to the table and solving one problem. So the feelers think in different kinds of feelings and bring that to the table to solve the same problem. Yeah? Last comes the thinking person. I have deliberately kept this at the very end because we give too much importance to thinking and ignore all the rest. Right? There are 8 different people who are more focused on thinking and bring 8 different shades of thinking. They tend to make decisions based on logic, objective analysis. Most of the crappy critical thinking models out there, and I have researched this for over 2 years, are all absolutely crappy. They think only in terms of logic and objective analysis. This is the very limited way of thinking. No wonder we are not able to solve problems holistically in the world. Remember, we said the function has to be holistic. They prioritize rationality and impartiality. Fine, it's one piece of the puzzle, or it's 8 pieces of the puzzle among the 16, right? But again, there are 8 different shades of thinking again available, and they are all solving the same problem. The key here being the same problem, right? Now let us conclude with this stuff. Workshop dynamics. Function. Is this function holistic? Absolutely, because it is taking the extrovert, introvert, intuitive, thinking, sensing, perceiving, judging, all aspects of the mind, of the psyche, of the personality we are considering. Once we have the 16 people around the table, once we start making them deliberate on a single problem in a very structured workshop setting, we are forcing them out of their neuroplasticity. We are bringing the best possible outcomes which each individual can provide based on their personality type, which would be applicable to all the masses. Doesn't matter if you're doing governance, doesn't matter if you're running an institution, doesn't matter if you're running a company. Humans are humans at the end of the day. So this is the workshop dynamic which makes this function very, very holistic. The next one I shall discuss other aspects of this, but for now take this away. Think about it. If you want to do a critical thinking workshop along these lines for your company, for your institution, wherever you are, you want to get in touch, it's in the description box below, my LinkedIn profile, email, etc. And we can see what to work with, especially if you have a challenging problem at hand at the company, as an institution, or if you just want to cultivate your executives' minds beyond their limited perceptions. Okay? Take care, be safe.